The National Electrical Code, specifically Section 110.26, A1, prohibits panelboards from being located in bathrooms or in the vicinity of showers, bathtubs, sinks, or other equipment that may be expected to be wet or damp. Given this restriction, locating panelboards in tiny apartments requires careful consideration. Here are several options to explore. Firstly, under kitchen cabinets could be a suitable location if there's enough clearance for workspace and access. Ensure that the panelboard is not directly above a sink or stove to minimize exposure to moisture and heat. Check local codes for any specific restrictions on placing electrical panels near appliances. Secondly, a small, shallow closet near the living room or kitchen can accommodate a panelboard. This provides a dedicated space for the panel, keeping it out of the main living area. Ensure that the closet is well ventilated to prevent overheating. Thirdly, behind a removable wall panel creates a dedicated panelboard access area without taking up valuable space. This option allows you to conceal the panelboard while still providing easy access for maintenance and repairs. Make sure the wall panel is securely fastened but easily removable. Fourthly, if the apartment has a small hallway, a utility closet can house the panelboard. This keeps the panelboard out of the main living areas and provides a dedicated space for electrical equipment. Ensure that the closet is large enough to provide adequate workspace around the panelboard. Fifthly, placing the panelboard on a wall in the living room or bedroom may be the least desirable option, but it could be necessary if other locations are not feasible. If this is the only option, try to choose a discrete location that minimizes the panelboard's visibility. Consider using a decorative cover to conceal the panelboard or make it less obtrusive. The NEC requires 36 inches of workspace in front of panelboards, as stated in the 2020 NEC 110.26. In tiny apartments, achieving this requirement may be challenging. Here are some strategies to consider. Firstly, use a slimline panelboard with a narrow footprint. These panelboards are designed to take up less space while still providing adequate electrical capacity. Secondly, mount the panelboard flush with the wall or in a recessed area. This helps to minimize the panelboard's protrusion into the room and maximize available space. Thirdly, install a small stool or step directly in front of the panelboard for access. This allows you to meet the workspace requirement without permanently dedicating a large area to panelboard access. Apart from the NEC prohibition, it's important to protect panelboards from moisture in bathrooms and other wet areas. Firstly, install a moisture barrier behind the panelboard. This will help to prevent moisture from seeping into the panelboard and causing corrosion or electrical problems. Secondly, seal any openings around the panelboard with caulk. This will help to prevent moisture from entering the panelboard enclosure. Thirdly, avoid placing panelboards near sources of steam or water, such as showers or stoves. This will help to minimize the panelboard's exposure to moisture. When selecting a location for the panelboard, consider the accessibility for maintenance and repairs. Ensure that there is enough space around the panelboard to safely work on it. Avoid placing the panelboard in areas that are difficult to reach or that require special equipment to access. Also, consider the aesthetics of the panelboard location. While functionality is the primary concern, it's also important to choose a location that is visually appealing and doesn't detract from the overall design of the apartment. If possible, conceal the panelboard behind a decorative cover or in a discreet location. Be mindful of potential obstructions when choosing a panelboard location. Avoid placing the panelboard behind doors, furniture, or other objects that could block access to it. Ensure that there is a clear path to the panelboard for maintenance and repairs. Also, consider the proximity of the panelboard to the electrical service entrance. The closer the panelboard is to the service entrance, the shorter the wiring runs will be, which can save on materials and labor costs. However, make sure that the panelboard location is still compliant with all applicable codes and regulations. When designing the electrical system for a tiny apartment, it's important to carefully consider the load requirements of the various appliances and devices that will be used. Ensure that the panelboard has enough capacity to handle the anticipated load. Also, consider future expansion possibilities. If there is a chance that the apartment will be expanded or renovated in the future, make sure that the panelboard has enough spare capacity to accommodate the additional load. Consult with a qualified electrician to determine the appropriate panelboard size and configuration for the specific application. An electrician can also help you to identify potential code violations and ensure that the electrical system is installed safely and correctly. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions when installing a panelboard. The manufacturer's instructions will provide detailed information on the proper installation procedures, wiring connections, and safety precautions. Failure to follow the manufacturer's instructions could result in damage to the panelboard or electrical system, or could create a safety hazard. Before starting any electrical work, always disconnect the power to the circuit you will be working on. This will help to prevent electrical shock and injury. Use a voltage tester to verify that the power is off before touching any wires or components. When working with electricity, always wear appropriate personal protective equipment, including safety glasses and gloves. This will help to protect you from electrical shock and other hazards. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, hire a qualified electrician to do the work. Electricity can be dangerous, and it's always best to leave electrical work to the professionals. Remember that local codes may have specific requirements for panelboard installations. Check with your local building department to ensure that your installation complies with all applicable codes and regulations. Common code requirements include minimum workspace clearances, grounding requirements, and overcurrent protection requirements. When installing a panelboard, make sure to properly label all of the circuits. This will make it easier to identify and troubleshoot problems in the future. Use the circuit directory to document the location of each circuit breaker and the appliances or devices that it serves. Keep the circuit directory up to date as changes are made to the electrical system. Regularly inspect the panelboard for signs of damage or wear. Check for loose connections, corroded wires, and damaged components. If you notice any problems, have them repaired by a qualified electrician as soon as possible. Proper maintenance can help to extend the life of the panelboard and prevent electrical problems. Consider using arc fault circuit interrupters, or size, to protect circuits in the apartment. Size are designed to detect arc faults, which are a common cause of electrical fires. They can help to prevent fires by shutting off the power to the circuit when an arc fault is detected. Size are required in many areas by the NEC. Also, consider using ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, to protect circuits in bathrooms, kitchens, and other wet areas. GFCIs are designed to detect ground faults, which can cause electrical shock. They can help to prevent electrical shock by shutting off the power to the circuit when a ground fault is detected. GFCIs are required in many areas by the NEC. Ensure that the panelboard is properly grounded. Grounding helps to protect against electrical shock and equipment damage. The grounding system should be installed in accordance with the NEC and local codes. Check the grounding connections regularly to ensure that they are tight and corrosion-free. Use appropriate wiring methods for the panelboard installation. The wiring method should be suitable for the environment and the type of wiring being used. Common wiring methods include conduit, cable, and raceway. All wiring should be installed in accordance with the NEC and local codes. When connecting wires to the panelboard, use the correct size and type of connectors. The connectors should be compatible with the wire size and material. Ensure that the connectors are properly tightened to prevent loose connections. Loose connections can cause overheating and electrical problems. Protect the panelboard from physical damage. Avoid placing heavy objects on or near the panelboard. If the panelboard is located in an area where it could be damaged, consider installing a protective barrier around it. Remember that electrical work can be dangerous. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, hire a qualified electrician to do the work. An electrician has the knowledge, skills, and experience to install and maintain electrical systems safely and correctly. They can also help you to comply with all applicable codes and regulations. When planning the electrical system for a tiny apartment, consider the energy efficiency of the appliances and devices that will be used. Choose energy-efficient appliances and devices to reduce energy consumption and save money on utility bills. Look for the Energy Star label when selecting appliances and devices. Consider using LED lighting throughout the apartment. LED lights are much more energy efficient than traditional incandescent or fluorescent lights. They also last much longer, which can save you money on replacement costs. Install dimmers on lights to allow you to adjust the light level to suit your needs. Dimmers can also help to save energy by reducing the amount of light being used. Use timers to automatically turn off lights and appliances when they are not in use. Timers can help to save energy by preventing you from accidentally leaving lights or appliances on. Seal any air leaks around windows and doors to prevent drafts and reduce energy loss. Air leaks can make it more difficult to heat or cool the apartment, which can increase energy consumption. Insulate the walls and ceiling of the apartment to improve energy efficiency. Insulation helps to keep the apartment warm in the winter and cool in the summer, which can reduce energy consumption. Consider installing a smart thermostat to control the temperature in the apartment. Smart thermostats can learn your habits and adjust the temperature automatically to save energy. They can also be controlled remotely using a smartphone or tablet. By taking these steps, you can create an energy-efficient electrical system that saves you money on utility bills and reduces your environmental impact. Regularly check the panel board for any signs of pests, such as rodents or insects. Pests can damage the wiring and components of the panel board, which can create a safety hazard. If you find any pests in or around the panel board, take steps to eliminate them and prevent them from returning. Consider using tamper-resistant receptacles in the apartment, especially in areas where children may be present. Tamper-resistant receptacles have a built-in safety mechanism that prevents children from inserting objects into the slots. Use surge protectors to protect sensitive electronic equipment from power surges. Power surges can damage electronic equipment such as computers, televisions, and stereos. Surge protectors can help to protect this equipment by diverting excess voltage away from the devices. Consider installing a whole-house surge protector at the main panel board to protect all of the electrical equipment in the apartment from power surges. A whole-house surge protector can provide comprehensive protection against power surges caused by lightning, power outages, and other events. Remember to always consult with a qualified electrician for any electrical work. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it's always best to leave it to the professionals.